GSL Group B.
Down in the bottom right, our Zerg player. It's a very Ling-heavy style, he is.
Gmail Green Wings True.
By the way, for how much Hot 6 sponsors esports and StarCraft in particular out here, I hope anyone that visits Korea definitely gives it a try.
Yeah, definitely so, man. It's actually pretty good. Down here at the bottom left, our Protoss player, former STX.
I am Trap. Cho Sung-ho.
So, what you were saying about the map pick, I'm not too surprised, just because when I think of Trap and air units, I think of him as someone that really likes to open them to harass. But I always think of him as someone that's more comfortable with the ground army. And I think that's the big difference between Frost and Ultrazine, because both are generally going to bring you into the late game. But on Ultrazine, it's going to be supreme late game with like air toss most of the time. In fact, almost all of the time. And of course, you know, on this map, a little bit different. You definitely can use a ground-based army more often in the late game, at least.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, and it turns out True sucks here. Look at that.
Yeah, well, this map definitely doesn't go well towards his style. I think we're going to see Trap possibly hit another timing, maybe on 3 bases, because this map is a map where if you want to play towards the late game and go towards that direction, you can, but you also have that potential to... oh, is he going to try to do the lip cannon here? No, he's not.
Not quite.
Too late. But you have that potential to hit timings because the map isn't so big to where you can't walk across the map and still attack, whereas Ultrazine kind of just is. It's just a bit too big.
That's true. And, you know, especially in these spots. Now, this opening was not very good for Trap, to be honest, right? He opened up with the Forge first for the Cannon Rush, but since it's a 4-player map, he sent out 2 probes, whereas True just blindly made his pool first into a hatch, and like basically got it all down as quickly as possible, so a little advantage going into this early game with True.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this kind of hurts because it slows down his economy and his tech slightly.
Yeah, even has to get that cannon first because he does see the pool first, so kind of rough opening there for Trap. If he is trying for a timing attack, you know, this does make it a few seconds slower, which oftentimes is the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, at this level, for sure. So, I mean, let's see what he has planned, because this is definitely a painful opening, but it's not one that he can't bounce back from.
Yeah, like, something like this happens to you on the ladder, you're like, oh, but you don't leave the game.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. I mean, StarCraft on a 4-player map, sometimes things go wrong. That's why I don't really like 4-player maps, actually.
Yeah, they definitely can be frustrating.
It's definitely like you have to think about an extra factor of chance in a 4-player map that you don't really have to think about as much in a 2-player map. When you scout on a 2-player map, you know you're going to get information and you know how long it's going to take you to get information guaranteed. Whereas on a 4-player map, you have to send out a second probe and you still just get in there and see what you didn't want to see, and everything is wrong. It makes you feel pretty terrible.
Nothing feels worse than like scouting your opponent last and getting no information. Like, especially PvP. The amount of times I've scouted in the wrong direction on a 4-player map, and they get to see what my opening was, and then a stalker's there when I get there, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess that sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough in TVT2 when you get there because that Marine is out there, but you at least have scans and stuff. You can use your Reaper to go in there and bounce up, but in PvP, it's like the absolute worst for sure.
Well, this game we do have a Stargate once again.
Yeah.
Not going to be a... Well, I guess it's going to be easy to scout.
We're in a place right now where it's almost 100% Stargate openings versus Zerg, unless you're doing an Immortal all-in. Yeah,
the only other openings I can really think of, there are some quick third Twilight openings, but just as often the quick third is taken with a Stargate.
Yeah.
Or perhaps even more often.
Yeah, I would say much more often.
But I do like a few of the different quick 3-base blink builds. Like I think Sora has used some, and can't come to my mind right now, but I've seen a few of them somewhat recently.
Well,
Frank used to have a great one that I loved.
There are a few variations to the Stargate opening, and we're going to see the Void Ray 3rd base option, which is used a lot on this map. And this Overlord is going to get chased away, and I don't think he's going to hide the Void Ray. I think he'll just go show it, kill the Overlord, and maybe take the 3rd base.
I would imagine that that's going to be the case.
He's
What do
not
you think
making-
about the fact he skipped Oracle?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not making an Oracle here, and that's pretty unusual. But to be honest, I never really liked the Oracle openings all that much because yeah, they give you some extra scout, you kind of fly around. But if you lose them for any reason, that really hurts you gas-wise. I'm trying to make these expensive units like the Void Ray, the Mothership Core. You're trying to get your upgrades out on your Forge, and take a third base all at the same time. And you have this flimsy unit. It's only really good, I feel, defensively against heavy lings. But
yeah, that's true. If they do go heavy lings, like, for instance, if he got quick speed here and made a big plume of lings when he saw your Stargate, your third base gets delayed if you don't have the Oracle, and you don't have the Oracle nearby.
I feel like this one sentry that he's got is going to do just as good of a job at scouting with Hallucination.
Sure, yeah.
And he doesn't need the Oracle for that. He has to make sure he doesn't lose that, though, because sentries are pretty expensive, too, and you have to just keep that in mind. But I like the more heavy Void Ray, because oftentimes what we see with this, on this map in particular, is when you get 3 or 4 Void Rays, you actually go and try to snipe extractors, any tech structures you can find that you can just recall out, or even kill the queens if there's not enough of them there.
In fact, he's starting that... Ooh, he started air attack and ground attack, then canceled both for a moment there. Let's see what he does with that. But yeah, I really like what you're saying there. Like, one of my favorite Sky Toss openers of all time was Alicia's 4 Void Rays +1 and Mothership Core. You walk out, you kill their 4th, and you go home. It's like... Because if they take a quick 4th in response to your quick 3rd, it's very difficult to stop. So, you know, he's doing some reasonable scouting. No 4th base yet here for True.
Yeah, I think he knows. He's like,
just
okay,
putting it down.
You have Void Rays over here. He had a drone over there. He's like, okay, Void Rays over here, base is going over there.
Yeah, there's no question in my mind that that is part of it. And in fact, he starts a 5th base down at the bottom part of the map after the Void Rays left that area. So that's kind of interesting.
Can't snipe both. I think that's the idea here.
Yeah, well, he definitely needs to get a 4th up, right? And the thing is, he's going into all sorts of tech here. I think he's actually... What is he planning here? If he goes into Corruptor Mute, I'm not really going to like that as much as... You know, I don't feel like you want to open that. I'd rather him go into Infestors. Okay, good. Pathogen Glands.
Infestors are great against Void Rays, and just in general on this map, there's always that harassment potential at the 3rd base. In this case, it's going to be the 4th base for Trap, where you have that high ground where you can fungal twice, and then fungal twice again, and make Porlos cry.
Yeah.
He's making a bunch of spores here, too, which I really do like. He's even going to protect them with these queens now. The Void Ray needs to get out of here.
Yeah, definitely doesn't want to lose a Void Ray right now, since basically all the units he's making are...
he didn't see
Void
it.
Rays.
I think he thought that it wasn't there.
Oh my god, you're right. He just missed that. That's actually a game changer, because this was a situation in which he may have been able to kill that off. Look, we just had Infestors start. All the queens are down south because he had 2 Void Rays there. 2 Void Rays with a charge. I think he actually would have killed that base.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was like a millimeter and just a second. Either one of those different, and he sees the hatchery.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
like, that could be a game loser right there. Like, if he barely loses, don't tell me that base not getting scouted had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree here. I think that's the reason why True took both, because he knew he couldn't defend both. He spores up the one that's closer, and then the one that's further away, he's like, all right, if you kill that, I have plenty of time to run my drones away. And now he has both. Now he has that extra larva at both.
5 base. 5 base, he's going to be
economy.
hitting 2-2. He's getting a bunch of Infestors out. He already has a good queen count.
He's about to have like 11 Infestors, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Everything about what True has done this game has been fantastic, but he certainly did get lucky that Trap didn't see that.
And Trap probably thinks like, oh, well, you're on 4 base for a while here.
Ouch.
It doesn't matter that much at this moment that he loses these, because it's not like he's needing these for Mutalisk at this exact moment in time, but it means that later on he's not going to have them.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't have lost them like that.
It kind of sucks, you know. They didn't end up really doing anything. 3 Phoenixes basically for free for some energy is not how you want to trade them generally.
No.
Well, it looks like we are going to have True getting kind of aggressive here. I love this style that he's showing us, man. This is really cool. It's quite good against Void Rays. Oh, man, he catches 5 more Phoenixes here.
All of them. And those Void Rays need to be careful they don't get too close, or they're going to suffer the same fate.
Really fantastic force field there. You know, doing his best he can against these Lings at the moment. Now, these Zealots in the main base, though, doing a great job as well.
That was a good fungal there, but it's only going to buy so much time. The Lings have to finish this off. He does bring a few more in here to the main base.
These are 2-2 against just 1-0 Zealots, though. So once again, he's leading by 3 upgrades, which means he just destroys.
And this is how you want to use your Phoenixes against the Infestors. Gets
Much
fungal
better play here. And you think is killing stuff with chain fungals actually takes quite a while.
Yeah,
so
you know, he needs queens. He needs queens, and they're up in the air. He's going to actually recall here. I think that might have been the right choice.
But you can see how his Lings just rip through this ground army. You know, all the gas of Trap is being put into Sky Toss, whereas, you know, I love how there's just no gas units other than Infestors for True. That allows him to get a lot of upgrades. And Queen Ling, he's actually doing a fine job.
Oh.
That doesn't do that much.
No.
The thing is, the Zealot harassment doesn't do as well when the Zerglings have 3 more upgrades, right? This is almost it already is diminishing returns. It's like not really returning.
This
anything.
is way too much damage for that Zealot, though. Actually, he's starting to get a bit sloppy with defending this. There goes another fungal.
But now they do have +2 attack, but still these are +2 Lings, so Lings still have a giant upgrade advantage.
Yeah. I mean, he's just doing this because he needs to do something to get that 4th base up, because the Lings are just going to keep hitting that if he doesn't. And even with Void Rays on the map, he doesn't have enough of them to just like stop all Lings. 97 Zerglings on the map. He's going to kill that base if he wants to, if he commits to it. 23 Infestors, by the way. 23 Infestors. That's like almost too many.
We haven't seen this since Wings of Liberty, man.
This is Coca style right here.
It's really cool. I like it. Look at that. Double fungal, going to be able to kill off a lot of probes with that.
Oh, nice catch here, too. Can't follow it up, it looks like. This is scary because this means...
Smart.
This is like, oh, you're only using Lings to counter this? Well, let me bring in 2 Archons, so that's a little bit less easy to do.
Luckily, he has a couple spines. In the meantime, looks like he will have to cancel that Nexus down south.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If the Lings go over there instead of coming back to defend, then he's going to lose that base 100% every time. Actually, it looks like he might have saved it. I want to see a shot of that, but how low did that end up going?
It looks like he did. You know, when you get a couple, it looks like he has 3 Colossus at this point, which means the Lings are no longer doing what they once did, that's for sure. He's going to have to switch it up, and he is, in fact, going into Roaches at this point, and even has some Corruptors out, but I don't know about the Corruptors. I don't like that as much.
Well, there's 8 Void Rays still, and I think he's going into 11 now. Now he sees that base that's been up forever.
He needs to either be adding Queens or maybe going into Hydras here. Or, like...
Vipers?
I mean, could he do Meta Switch? No, he can't right now, really. He doesn't have big enough economy.
I think he's going to go Vipers off that Hive.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable. He does need something to pull them into, though, right? Because, I mean, he doesn't have a big Corruptor count. What are you going to pull it into Fungals? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, he only
pull
has...
1 unit into Chain Fungal?
He still only has 6 Queens. Doesn't have enough. Like, if he had, like, 12 or 14 Queens, that would be good enough.
Yeah.
Ultralisk Cavern goes down here. That's not going to be useful for a while, but getting that infrastructure. Fleet Beacon goes up here. It looks like Trap is thinking he's going to go into Broodlords.
Yeah, it could be. You know, when you have that many Infestors, Broodlord's not a bad choice.
Or maybe also he's thinking, like, well, I want to get my +2. I've got this many Void Rays. I might as well start making those more worth it.
Yeah, that's quite nice. And you always got to be wary about a Mutalisk Tech Switch as well. So plus attack on your air units is pretty important.
And the range, having that ready to make as well. And he's getting Blink, too. So he's just basically trying to do a catch-all here.
Yeah, it is time for him to get everything. When you're on 4 bases, Protoss, you can do everything.
This is what I was talking about earlier, by the way, on that high ground. There's not a whole lot of probes here to kill, but he's going to kill the ones that are there.
Well, it's time to see how many Fungals he actually lands. A lot of Fungals so far. That is a ton of Infestors. He's doing a good job of keeping them out of Colossus range.
Yeah, and out of Void Ray range as well. Time Warp goes down here. Everybody, oh no, bad rally on those Infestors coming back from that 4th base.
Very painful. Those units so expensive. More and more Chain Fungals, but like if he's going to Chain Fungal this all, he's going to lose every Infestor.
A bit surprised that Trap actually decided to back out here.
He had like 23 Infestors, and I think he made more during that. It was kind of painful. And now he is going into 7 Ultras. But the thing is, he damaged the Void Rays. He didn't kill them. What is he going to do to counter these Void Rays, which actually counter his Ultras?
Yeah, that's the question. He's getting a lot of extra Archons here as well, which are going to be decent damage dealers on the ground. 4 Colossi at the back to help deal with those infested Terrans. He only has 10 Roaches. I don't know, actually. I think that Trap's got a pretty good composition here.
Yeah, he does. It's getting a little bit tougher, but you know what? If you fungal a Protoss army, especially if it's on creep, and you just run into it with Ultra and other units, it will do pretty well. The thing I'm afraid of is how quickly Ultras will die to charged Void Rays. But, you know, they're going to have a lot of armor soon. Kindness is almost done. +3 armor is almost done. I think he'll be able to erase the ground army, but definitely those Void Rays could be left over there and could be a problem.
Yeah. This creeps actually is pretty nice. Just going to always have vision of this. Also means he can't make cannons on the high ground, which you'll often see as the counter to this. He's just going to do it again, double fungals, and then some infested Terrans.
Doing a very good job of things. Really, you know, despite the fact that Trap is on 4 bases, his economy is not really reflecting that. The only thing he keeps refilling is the gas, and, well, rightfully so. He needs to be mining gas to be able to play this game correctly.
He still is playing very cost efficiently, though. All his warriors, had they died, he'd be basically dead right now because it's going to take him too much gas to rebuild that. And because he keeps enough gas to still be able to get this immortal infrastructure, get the second Robo, and get those immortals ready for Ultras, keep his Voiders alive, and also get these upgrades like Storm and the +1 for his shields, he's still able to take what little economy he has and make it worth it because his army has been so cost efficient for so long.
Well, you know, this is now becoming the game of counters.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they both kind of have lived long enough and have scary enough armies that it's very hard to engage. And while we see Trap is still kind of all countering, getting all the upgrades, like Observer Speed, the range for Phoenixes just in case, he's going pretty heavily into Immortals. And that is, of course, to deal with this Ultra-Spaced army. But with this many Void Rays out as well, he should be very careful. Because once he does kill that off, kill off the Ultras, if there's a lot of Immortals left, then we'll probably see from True a switch into Broods, which makes the Immortals completely useless.
Yeah, it makes them worthless. He's actually going to go ahead and get this spawning pool. Not going to really be a game changer right now. He's losing a lot of stalkers over here to get the space. This SimCity hurting the Ultras quite a bit, but ooh, Mothership is on the way.
Trap's true weakness. He just lost his spawning pool.
You mean True's weakness, I assume?
Yeah.
Because he's so obsessed with Zerglings,
yes,
you know,
indeed.
that's the idea here. Well, I mean, the Mothership here is going to be somewhat useful to help keep his air army like a bit harder to spot for. He's always going to need to have more Overseers, but I don't think that's really going to be a game changer. Might even force a Viper or two. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen any of those at all yet.
Yeah, Vipers would be nice to add in. The one thing that I'm just super scared about, what does he have that hits air? It's really just 8 Infestor spells.
And the Infestors, yeah.
Yeah, 8 Queens. I mean, if he's going to bring all of them with him, that's pretty reasonable. But these 2 Corruptors don't matter that much. I'd rather have him sit in the bottom of his main because those Warpins have actually done more damage to him than anything else this game.
I know. I was about to mention that. Like, you know, that one Warp Prism is just always there. You can almost just like spread one tumor and put a Spore Crawler in that corner, and that would be the end of it.
Drop Overlord creep there.
Yeah.
I mean,
this one Ultras here is like 1 cannon shot away from death with the bag.
Oh, they're all going to die now.
And he's not even going to use the Prismatic Alignment because he knows he doesn't need it for this.
Good choice. Interesting little harassments he's doing. Like, both these, right? Because he continues to eke out little advantages on this cliff, but then he continues to run in with that tiny Ultralisk army as well. And now even running down with the Ultras. This is just like, I'm very interested with the way True is doing this. I think he's trying to lose his Ultras very carefully. Like, he's trying to eke out as much damage as possible while building his bank and building his larva count. Look, he has 74 larva, and he has like 5k, 6.5k about, or just 4.5k, 6.5k.
He has upgrades for Lings, Roaches, you know, whatever he wants.
Well, he can remax like on anything, so losing the Ultras could be good because this is a very good anti-Ultra army. 7 Archons, 4 Immortals, 10 Voids, 10 High Templars, 4 Colossus, and a Mothership. I mean, that is a killer army against Ultras.
He's got to be careful with these Infestors. The thing is, like, he's actually going into the attack into where this Mothership is with Infestors. They will detect cloaked units.
What's he going to make? We don't have the production tab up. There it is.
30 Mutalisks.
And it would be more, but he is supply capped right now. Severely supply capped.
The Pulse Crystals upgrade is ready, in fact. So he has 10 High Templar with Storm.
That is true, but they're using up all their energy feedbacking every single Infestor.
Yeah.
Which is pretty painful, because that's quite a few Infestors that didn't really get their spells off.
These casters are hugging each other over here. The High Templar and the
And
Infestors.
you don't mean me and you.
No. At least not right now.
Well,
But 25 mutas more to pop out here. That's a lot of mutalisks, but still, I feel like once he realizes he's got all the tools necessary to build what he needs to deal with them, it's just a matter of time. How much do they get done before that happens?
well, if he focuses the rest of his money on corruptors, he can still fight against a huge fleet of Phoenixes that we should be seeing come out. Now here we go. He is engaging. Nice Psystorms going down and pulling up with these Archons as well, making that a very tough situation for him to engage, despite the fact that he has 50 mutas right now.
Yeah. Only 3 Archons on the map, and he picked off one of them, actually over there, the 4th one, with his Ultralisk. He always has this like Ultralisk run-by force, and if he can actually kill these Stargates, that's the infrastructure that Trap needs to deal with this.
Yeah, and his economy is not that good. He has lost his 4th base. His 3rd is the only thing he has mining right now. Even though he has quite a strong army, you will never win a base trade against this many mutas. 50
Never.
mutas? Come on. Like, you need Phoenixes against this, and he just, as you said, the infrastructure's gone. He's got
He can't
3
even
Phoenixes.
afford to make more Stargates right now. He's going to have to rely on Storms and Archons, and with good micro, especially with that new regen in Heart of the Swarm, I don't think he's got a chance. Now, I like this choice to send these Immortals over to try to snipe bases, because it doesn't matter how many Spine Crawlers you make, those 4 Immortals with good upgrades can actually kill Infinity Spines by themselves.
Yeah.
But they will get cleaned up here. There's Infestors and a few Ultras coming back, with Lings even to get rid of the shields.
And in fact, he's almost doing him a favor getting rid of these Ultras.
Yeah.
Like, those, he doesn't give a crap about those Ultras, man. He has got plenty of money to make 15 more mutas if he wants right now.
This is starting to look really disastrous for
Yeah.
Trap.
With
Those
this
are
many-
the last of his Phoenixes.
If Phoenix is going to range for 1 second, they just die. Because 50 mutas, that's a lot of damage. It's more damage than a Phoenix has in health, that's for sure. See?
I just want
Every time.
a shirt that has your face on it and says "cuz 50 mutas." Like
Be a good shirt, man.
it's just got it in quotes there. It says
Talk about
Artosis.
1A. Oh my god. You know, it looks like Trap doing a counterattack here. He realizes he's going to need to go into some sort of base trade, but I can't see him winning it. If we just get drones all over the map, there's so much money still left over here.
There's not a whole lot of money left for Trap, and the thing is, if he tries to pull one of these, I'll just keep making assimilators while I move around the map. Like, the Mulus can actually just right-click and kill the assimilator, even because there's so many of them. Even if the Protoss army's on top of it, like, he could still just burst it down.
If he comes in with like 3 groups of mutas and magic boxes, all of them, I mean, there's a lot of storms, sure, but only 1 Archon. Yeah, I don't see it. He can never win against the mutas, basically, if True controls them reasonably well. But
let's keep an eye on the drones and the probe counts. Because
yeah, it's really important that he has some drones out to hide stuff around the map.
He already has a hatchery to the top. This drone's going to get picked off here. Did he actually finish Burrow? Because I know he started it earlier, because that's something he could use right now, maybe, to hide some of his drones.
Yeah, he has Burrow. He's been moving the Infestors around on Burrow a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got to be keeping his drones burrowed, I'd say, around the map, because he's got 2 obs in his army, but if 2 Stalkers finds a drone in the top left, they're not going to be able to kill that without the Observer nearby.
Yeah.
These 2 Stalkers are the ones I'm talking about.
Well, right now he's flying his mutas up to actually deal with those 2 Stalkers.
Is this the last building?
No, he built a pylon over on the side. He has 390 minerals, so he can still build either several extractors, or assimilators rather.
Yeah.
Possibly some pylons. The thing is, we have true mining. So, and I mean, 1 Phoenix, I don't care if the map is a never-ending donut. Just if the map is never-ending, not even a donut, because that would be even easier to kill it. But 1 Phoenix is not going to beat this many mutas. It would take us all night long, and you'd have to be like against a computer, and the map would have to be infinite. You would actually get carpal tunnel before you kill them all, I think.
Yeah, no, it's never going to happen.
What he wants is Trap is waiting for him to make a mistake, right? That's the only thing I can see here.
I mean, the mothership is there, right? But it's like,
oh boy, whoa, that was quick.
Yeah, gets both observers. Important to note because of Burrow.
Yeah, and those had speed as well, so they were very good scouts. A lot of ways that those could have come in handy. Not a lot of minerals right now for first. True. So.
Yeah, Trap, I mean, he's got 3 more... No, not even 3. He can only make 2 more assimilators, actually.
Yeah.
That's all he can make. That's the most cost-efficient and...
Piling in a simulator.
Like, health-efficient unit he can make.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The only problem is the simulators, of course, are... You're a bit limited on where you can build them. You can only build them on geysers, which are also, you know, pretty predictable locations.
I like that he made 1 more Archon, by the way. I think that's important. All those storms wouldn't have stacked.
Oh, this is not a good place for those Void Rays to be.
It's about time for Trap to GG. He has to know at this point's over.
Good call, Artosis.
Yeah, I mean, when he picks off your Void Rays and flies away and has hatches in both corners of the giant map, you're dead.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting game. I think both players played it extremely well there. It wasn't like a Zest game where it was like perfect and stuff, but
we saw like a ton of infestors, way more than we normally see.
Yeah.
We went up to like 22 at the most, I think.
Yeah. You know, I think that the constant harassment at the 4th base was really, really smart and really nice. I think making the Immortals was overkill.
Yeah, making the Immortals was a bit overkill because he had the Voiders there.
And when he was running around with the Ultras, sorry to cut you off, but when he was running around with the Ultras, I think that you have to like read into a situation like that. Like, why do 3 Ultras and a handful of Roaches keep attacking my 3rd base? And you have to, like, why would he do that? Because Ultras are supposed to be in a big group of units. Oh, because he's trying to lose them to switch tech, so you shouldn't be countering Immortals or Ultras still at that point, I think.
I agree. I really like that creep spread above the base because it means you can't put cannons up there, which would block the infestors from actually doing that damage. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Also giving them constant vision of that location, knowing how many probes are there, how much is actually mining at that location, having that high ground vision. Solid play. But we are going to go into another Zerg versus Zerg for our winners match after a quick commercial break.